Hello YouTube, my name's Dane Lemaitre and welcome to another review. This time I'll be looking at Circle from Underground Ernie. I got her as my bargain buyer, so I got Victoria's Circle, Jubilee and Hammersmith and City all for £13 each on eBay, so too good to miss. She does come boxed. I'll move on to the packaging later, but first of all, I think she's, out of all the Underground Ernie ones that I've reviewed so far, because I've done reviews on Bakerloo and Victoria, she's definitely one of the better models of the Underground Ernie range. First, I said all the colours are there more or less. I think one thing that's not quite right and does look a bit odd is that she's got her windows are red, and whereas they were sort of like black grey on the television series, so that does look a bit odd. And I certainly would say that if it wasn't for that, the model could actually be perfect. But so detail-wise, she's more or less there. She's also a lot narrower than the other engines. She was one of the smaller engines on Underground Ernie. She's a lot narrower, so size-wise, she'll be clipping on your platforms or anything like that, or buildings or anything like that, because she is quite narrow. So yes, it's really good. I think her face has been captured really well. So again, I can't really falter on that. One thing I forgot to mention on Victoria, something that I did mention on Bakerloo though, is about the fact that you've got these buffers sort of randomly added on the back. And I think that's a bit of a shame, because I said I don't remember the engines in Underground Ernie having buffers, or any Underground engines at all for that matter in reality. And I said the buffers look rather sort of cheap, like plastic blocks that have just been put on. And again, you have this bar that they use to accommodate the coupling, but I think it would have been better if it was just a bar and not the buffers. So that's a bit of a shame. Running wise, she runs really well, and like I said, there's no problems with her eyes. You don't see any gaps between them as she goes around the layout. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. The packaging I'll move on to next. The packaging is really good. It's also different on the back to all the other Underground Ernies, as it shows you all. Instead, it tells you a bit about Circle, like how it did on the Bakerloo and Victoria one, but it also shows you all the different characters and buildings. And like I said, the only ones I haven't got are Brooklyn and Ernie 1, and I don't actually have any of the station buildings, but I'd rather, in some ways, even when it comes to the Thomas range, although I call myself quite a big fan, I don't own all the buildings, because sometimes I think it's nice to build your own ones. But if I ever did an Underground Ernie layout, then I might consider buying some. And like I said, they are all discontinued. They were discontinued in around 2009. But so you can still buy them. So she comes in two separate bits of plastic that once you cut the sellotape, you can take it on and off. She's very well protected, and it's a lot better than the Thomas Bachmann range, where you've sort of got, just like as I said before, just a shell that's protecting them. And the thing is, I don't think these engines here are quite as fragile as the Thomas Bachmann range, and so the packaging's even better, and you wouldn't believe it was the same company. So I think that is a bit of a shame. Circle's not as heavy as Victoria and Bakerloo, and she runs a lot faster and I think a lot more smoother than both of them. So again, that's a real plus. When it came to giving Circle an overall score, it was pretty hard, but like I said, she is definitely a really good model. I don't think she's not failed to impress me at all. Like I said, I was really impressed, and so I think I would happily actually give this model, for the first time out of all the Underground Ernie ones, a 10 out of 10. I think that's a very fair and reasonable sort of score. I'll be doing another review again on Underground Ernie one, and next time I'll be doing Jubilee. Until then, thank you very much for watching,